let's skip the weekend remix this week and just focus it on a little Mike Love.
Just that guy?
Yeah, I mean that's really what's going to smooth this out.
I mean that's literally all it was this week. So technically, it kind of is a weekend remix.
That's what we got to do.
But we're not calling it the weekend remix.
No,
we're calling it the Mike Love full interview.
Mike Love full interview
coming right your way.
That's what we got to do.
Right
sounds like a plan.
Now.
Enjoy.
I can't wait.
No family and not fighting alone. No, no, no. When the wicked man sees iron and your crown, he sees a tree he could never ever cut down. And when he hears a righteous and a gentle sound, he goes back underground. No, 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 nowhere to be found. But I can say to the wicked man, when will you change your evil ways? La la la, I say to the ballet man, when will you learn to stop your fuss and I'm not gonna leave up in the truth and I'm not gonna die to put your pride on and say, I would never give my money to a barber shop. So the room my line is made according to the will of Jah. 'Cause I'm a naughty dreader, I'm a rasta, I'm a naughty dreader. Oh no 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 no.
Hello?
I see that you
Hey,
Hey! Oh my God, I can't believe it. Mr. Mike Love with us today. That's amazing.
This is a dream come true for us, guys.
It really is.
And here's why, Mike.
you guys are so sweet.
Well, Mike, here's the reason why. Who threw it out on the text thread Thursday? So there's 7 of us in this group, and we could not agree on anything in music.
100%. I stand out like a sore thumb in this group.
Yeah, with your Polish disco.
Right, I got all kinds of weird stuff. And then I was actually in St. Louis just on a motorcycle trip with some guys, and they kind of left, and I was kind of hanging out by myself. And I saw these guys talking about your music, and I was working out. I was like, I'll throw it on. And I got to tell you, it instantly resonated with me. The sound was great. The message was great. I loved everything about it. The way you're working the soundboard is absolutely amazing. And I spent the rest of the day just listening to songs over and over again and just kind of feeling the love, so to speak, you know? Absolutely loved it.
Oh, cool, man.
So he throws it out on the text thread, and look out. Everybody's playing Mike
It's like
Love.
wildfire.
Holy
Everyone
cow.
jumped in.
Yeah.
We're playing it at pool parties.
Nice.
Yeah. Kids are playing it now.
The kids are playing it.
They're
Kids
into
love
it.
it.
Speaking of kids, we
man.
went to their concert the other day. Don made me hijack their band concert. I had to go on the PA.
Yeah.
I put Mike Love on. All the parents were clapping because they thought they were listening to kids, but it was Mike Love.
Yeah. Sixth grade birthday party.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's, I mean, what better introduction than that? I love hearing that. You know, I feel like it's music for everybody. So I try not to focus on a certain demographic or even a specific genre. I just try and make music that's universal. So it's good to hear that it works. And I do hear that a lot, from people like, hey, my mom really likes your music, or my grandma likes your music, or it's like, or our kids, and it's like I love that it has no specific age limit to it. So much music is
That's right.
so much music is focused on either teenagers or college students, or it's like a certain demographic, and I just never wanted to do that. I never wanted to limit myself to any particular audience.
Yeah, you definitely
Well, you're
accomplished that.
putting a smile on my 76-year-old mother and my 12-year-old daughter. So,
Nice.
and my face too. So I really appreciate it.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go and say something right now. Your live album that you did at
In Hawaii.
yeah, it was Hawaiian Brian's. That live album that you did, honestly, I'm going to say this right now. The best live album I have ever heard in my life. I absolutely love it.
No,
The production value, your recording engineer, kudos to him. That thing sounds incredible.
He needs a raise. Give him a raise. That guy is fantastic.
I did really, I got the guy who did the actual engineering recording is, one of the best engineers I know in Hawaii. And it was mixed by Jim Fox, who's like a really legendary engineer who's worked with so many people, since the 70s. So I did really when you say give that guy a raise, it's like I did actually spend a ton of money on production, on making it sound the best it could sound, because I wanted to, we rehearsed our asses off for it to make it happen.
So when you're full band, you're with the Full Circle, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that their full-time gig is playing with you, or do they have their own side thing going too?
Well, all of them definitely do a lot of other stuff on the side, and I think, everything's kind of changed in the last couple of years. I mean, we were going full tilt and kind of touring all the time before all of this COVID stuff happened. And then I think everybody, including myself, had to kind of shift gears and figure other stuff out. And, even now that touring is starting to pick up again, at least this year, everything's kind of being booked really like last minute and just thrown together. And, financially, I took a huge hit like over the last couple of years. So a lot of the touring that I'm doing now is not with the band, is solo touring.
Yeah,
to just kind of like, and a lot of those guys have been doing a lot of other stuff and, producing and doing more studio stuff. But yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, I think more than anything, it's been toughest on like the touring musicians, guys that are not like, because me, I still have some income coming in from streaming and YouTube and things like that, but it's like a lot of my band members have gone on unemployment and all kinds of stuff.
Well, we were lucky enough to see you with your band, though, right? You came to Chicago in the Chicago suburbs with your band last time, right? In the summer this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was, and that was really nice. That was the first tour that I've done with my band in like a year and a half, so
show.
It was great.
That keyboard player. Remember how happy that guy was?
He was having a blast.
He smiled the whole time.
It's his brother.
Oh yeah, man.
So does Full Circle, do they live in Hawaii still and you're out? So how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, most of them do, but some of them, my bass player John, he moved to Boston a couple of years ago, and I have a couple different drummers that I use, depending on who's available, and one of them lives in Hawaii and one of them lives in California, but most of the guys still live in Hawaii. So, I mean, anytime we do anything, they just fly out and I fly out and we all fly out from wherever we're at and meet wherever we're going and go from there.
Do they bring you malasadas when they come from Hawaii?
Yeah, I wish.
I don't know what that means, but I love it.
I don't know what that means, but I absolutely
Mike knows.
Mike knows.
Yeah, that's all. That's
Mike
all that
and Nick know.
matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all. Me and Chapman don't need to know that.
As long as he knows how to speak Mike Love, that's all that matters.
I don't care.
I think we got to give the audience a taste of the full band.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to get into some other stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
Give him a taste.
Doesn't take a lot to get me high. These days, seems my troubles just pass me by. It's like I'm walking up in the cloud, always thinking out loud, like I'm speaking and the song is coming out. So I've been right down just to tie my shoes. Then on the pavement, it's so hard to keep from getting the blues. But I keep on turning on, singing a triumphant song, giving love 'cause I got nothing to lose. Yeah, but days pass by, people come and people flying and up the door. I'm learning more with each experience, and my heart grows and my blood flows. I'm feeling lighter and lighter, like a feather. I'm burning brighter like the sun. And I think I like what I have become. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna trust
So lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That guy sounds fantastic. Mike, do you know this guy? Because this is a fantastic song.
Have you heard this music before? It is phenomenal.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah, you got to check this album out, Mike.
Yeah.
It's no Polish disco, but
Hey, look at Mike. Mike's a long-time listener.
I tell you what, man, I've played a number of gigs in Poland. The first gig I ever played in Europe was right when I landed at the Woodstock Festival in Poland, and it's like a massive festival. It's like 500,000 people, just like the hugest stages you could imagine. And it was pretty interesting, man, because festivals in Europe are like they're so so much more eclectic than American festivals. And there was like this really trippy, like electronic metal band that played before us. And then we played, and it was really great, and the Polish people, they're awesome. It was an awesome
passionate.
audience.
They're pretty passionate about their music over there. Whatever it is, they do get behind it.
Yeah, and then right after us, there was this band, and it was clearly a band that they were hugely popular in Poland because everybody in the audience knew the words, but they were almost like a ska, like disco kind of ska band or something. And it was it was like nothing I've ever heard, but they were a really great band, a Polish band.
My God, see?
And
Hold on a second. Was that Maria? Who was that? Was that Maria and Steve? Who do you?
You are giving me a shit ton of street
not
cred
Mirage.
right now. Everybody's looking at me. The whole everybody. Like, they're not looking at you. They're looking mostly because you're not in the video. But they're looking at me going, "Oh my God."
Was it Mirage Yoko? That's
Mirage.
They're waiting for you to name the band.
Yeah. Come on. You gotta nail this. Yeah.
Where are you living now? Are you in Washington State proper? Is that true?
Yeah, I'm living in Washington State on the east side, in a town that nobody's ever heard of, called Chewelah. It's a bit out of
Sounds
Spokane.
Hawaiian.
Oh wait, are you talking about Chewelah?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
it's from.
Yeah, you know it.
That's have you met Maria over there? She is fantastic. She's got a nice little fruit stand over there.
Oh, fruit stand.
Yeah, she's a fruit stand
was a
lady.
coffee
She's
shop.
fantastic.
So, Mike, last night I was kind of digging through all your YouTube clips and trying to find some features. This one I came across, and I think this really sets the stage of how talented of a musician you are. And for the audience, this is just Mike playing guitar and singing, nothing else. It sounds like a whole band.
By himself, yeah.
This is insane. I got to play this. I actually named it. This is insane. That's why I named it the thing. Here we go.
I've been dreaming lately about this place in the country where the air is clean. I put the buttons and flip off the switches, kick off my shoes and feel the grass beneath my feet. Sit around later, everyone will face this. Wanna be the first one to embrace. Open through my television, sitting on my porch with a big smile upon my face.
I mean, how the hell do you play that and sing that at the same time? That is bananas.
it's funny because like I'm assuming you guys can hear the audio of what's playing, but I can't hear anything right now. All I can hear is you guys like breathing into the mic.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Oh no!
Yeah. Well,
That's crazy.
It's like one of those callers. Or one of those late night callers.
Oh my gosh!
Why
All
don't
right.
you tell them what you're playing?
I'm sorry about that. Well, this is
Here's what it sounded like.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
I'm going to tell you, and real quick, just to kind of dovetail a little bit on this. I love using that word. Is how do you come up with your lyrics?
I'm not sure if dovetail was the right word, but
Dovetail
I
was
love
the
that.
right word.
Yeah, you could just
I love using
really,
dovetail.
You can use it for
I'm
anything.
a big dovetail fan.
I think Mike's going to start using dovetail.
Yeah, I think it is next.
Yeah, right. I definitely use a dovetailing technique when I'm writing lyrics.
Yes, he does.
Lyrically, I feel like there's definitely a very divine element to I feel like anything good that's ever come out of me or come through me has a very divine element attached to it. And I sometimes will look back on a lyric and just think to myself as well, like, wow, that's like really, really good and really insightful and maybe like a clever way of saying it, or like think to myself, like, how did I arrive at that? And there's something I kind of discovered a long time ago, and there's a lot of different names for it. I feel like higher self is a really is a really good name for it, because there's like, you know, you have you kind of have yourself, and you're going around, you know, all day and doing your things and, you know, getting tasks done or whatever, living your life, enjoying yourself. But you can also go to a deeper place, a meditative place, where you connect with a deeper part of yourself, or maybe a more intense or a more spiritually connected or a more highly intelligent or focused part of yourself. And I think it's like really connecting to God or the universe or Jah, or whatever you want to call it. And that's really where I go when I'm writing music. And it is like a process of me feeling like I'm just kind of reaching out and plucking things that already exist out there in the universe, the cosmos, or wherever, and kind of pulling them in. But it's through my own filter and my own experience too. So it's like, I'm not going to write about something that I don't know about, or I've never experienced, or I don't care about. So I feel like it is a part of myself, but also a part of God, because it's really just kind of filtering that through me. Yeah. And when I get in touch with that kind of stuff, that's what I figured out like early on or I guess not early on, but when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, I started kind of connecting to that. And I realized that's what immediately people started resonating with. Like I'd been writing music since I was 15 or something like that, but not until that time in my early 20s where I started to get that kind of different inspiration that felt like it, I didn't have to force anything. It just kind of flowed through me, rather than me trying to like dig down inside of myself and come up with something that just came from me rather than through me. And people just started resonating with that and connecting with it. And I think it is because it's a more universal energy.
Do you meditate then too?
Yeah, I do. I feel like even music, playing music for me is a major form of meditation. And I do, like when I'm performing, I'm all, if I'm in the right zone, if nothing's getting in my way, I'm in that place where I'm connected to my higher self. And even when I'm speaking at a show, on stage performing, kind of channeling the energy of Jock, channeling the energy of the people, and even just speaking, it's like things come out of my mouth that I don't feel like I'm really saying them. I'm just like sitting there kind of learning myself as well,
Yeah, I need to learn how to meditate better, because every time I meditate, I fall asleep. I'm the worst meditator.
That's a good start.
If I was on stage meditating, it'd be sleepy down.
You're a great meditator. That's a good start to the whole thing.
Well, they say if you don't feel guilty if you fall asleep, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Really?
Yeah. I tell you, I love your writing. I mean, from the mechanics of it, where the poetry of it, where you actually mix up pronouns and stuff, where it just sounds different, to the message itself, where you kind of balance the positivity with the social change aspect, which really they do kind of oppose each other in some ways, but you have a seamless transition with it, which I absolutely love, where it's all positive no matter what the message is directly,
Spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think music's a great tool to be able to say something that's hard to digest, or would feel harsh if you were saying it, but singing it, putting it into a beautiful song, it becomes easier for people to digest and then take a look at. It's like you can kind of call things to people's attention without being like, hey, you're fucking this up. It's like we could be like, hey, and it's like people do come to that. I mean, I've experienced that plenty of times with music myself, where I hear a message and it's not something that I probably would have wanted to hear if like somebody was just lecturing me on it. But, since Bob Marley was singing it, it's like, then I go, oh yeah, he's right. And then I got to like make a change,
That's actually interesting because that's like an epiphany for me right now because I didn't realize that it was the music that made the difference. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like somebody talking at me
because you're
telling
not
me what
getting
this
hit over the head with a sledgehammer. With
100%.
It's mellow.
Yeah,
it's
that's very
authentic. It resonates, right? And then it gets you into that that consciousness that you were talking about, where you're actually listening to the lyrics, and then you'll hit us with something that's political or something that's society driven, and it makes us think. So I think that's the true gift of your music. When I listen to it, at least, that you put those little nuggets in it,
and a lot of
make
music
you think
is
like, you're like, oh yeah, you're right.
A lot of music is recognition, where you just hear it on the radio and it plays over and over, and you're like, I like that song. But your stuff kind of hits right away, like first time you listen to it, and that's not often that happens, which I really appreciate.
And I apologize, Mike, but let me take this one. Here's what I'm doing to get your name out there.
Here we go.
This is what I'm doing. So around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Flyers? Are you doing flyers?
No.
Don's a big flyer.
I'm a big fan.
Staple them to the trees.
Big fan of flyers, but here's what I'm doing, Mike. I'm opening a Lovinade stand, and I've already started it. So everybody's going around. I'm handing out mixtapes of Mike Love, and people love it. The whole neighborhood. They're all listening to Mike Love.
Lovinade stand.
The Lovinade
Is it
stand.
5 cents or is it $1?
It's free. It's the Lovinade stand.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about. We were on lockdown, and like you said, you were slowing down a little bit. Mike Love Mondays.
Yep.
I mean, we were in a deep winter. We were in lockdown, and every Monday I knew I was getting a therapy session with you. And
Love Mike
absolutely
Love
loved
Mondays.
it. And that's where I really got to dive into your music. Was that a concept you came up with, or you just wanted to get out there and play because you were kind of going a little crazy at home? How did you come up with the idea? Because it was brilliant.
Well, yeah, but the thing about the whole lockdown thing was I had never ever done a live stream. I had never gone, live on my Instagram or anything, ever done that before. And, and so doing it was kind of like this foreign thing to me, but, I always did this gig. Like it was kind of how I started doing solo music. So if you go way back to like, even like around 2010 or maybe even earlier than that, probably. My wife said, "Hey, we're broke and you're playing with your band all the time. Like, why don't you try doing a solo gig?" So I started doing. I got this gig on Monday nights, and I started doing it. And that was my first time ever playing solo. And so I developed like the whole looping thing and everything. I developed at this gig because I never practiced it. I just went to this gig, and I had this gig every Monday night, and it was 4 hours. I couldn't I didn't have any audience at first. It was at this place that just had, music 7 nights a week. They didn't care if anybody was there. They knew it was Monday night. They paid me anyways. So I started doing this gig, and I would play for 4 hours. So I got a loop pedal because I wanted to just it was like 4 hours. I wanted to be able to play a guitar solo sometime, Yeah. And so I started doing the looping, and I just did it at the gigs, and slowly it picked up. And then eventually after like a few years, it was like their best night, of the week. It was better than their Friday and Saturday nights at the bar. And like, I just had all these regular people that would come, and like for them, it was like, they would always say, this is like our Mike Love Mondays. It's our therapy. And just like you said. So even when I started touring and stuff, I'd come back home, and I always kept this Monday night gig solo because I felt like it was kind of where I built it all, and it just kept me like grounded doing this gig. And so when we even up till the time, when we went on lockdown, I would come home from tour and I would play these, Monday night gigs. If I wasn't doing anything else, I at least was always doing those Monday night gigs when I came home from tour. Yeah. And so when we went on lockdown, it was like for the first time in 15 years or something, I wasn't playing any gigs. And that was like, I could still make music and stuff, but like it felt kind of crazy to not do that. And in a way it was like the gift that I never would have given myself. And a lot of really great things came from it for me, but I wanted to kind of like, and once I did a couple of those live streams, I thought, well, I would like do a couple and I'd be like, yeah, people are just like, they need it so bad right now because everybody's stuck at home. And I needed it too. And then I would do it, but then I would go for like a few weeks and I'd be like, man, doing all this other stuff and, doing projects around the house or whatever, get caught up doing other stuff.
In the middle of it too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I love when you show your dedication. You said, well, sorry, I missed the meet and greet or the chat afterwards because I had to go to Chuck E. Cheese. It was my son's birthday. But you still did it. You're like, I at least play some music, but I got to go. It's my kid's birthday.
I kind of stopped doing it because, it felt like everything was picking back up. We were having live shows again. People were coming out of it. And now I'm realizing like I kind of need to get back into doing it again because it was a really special thing. And I think there are a lot of people that still really need it. And
we were here.
And and who knows when I'm going to be able to tour internationally again. And, the thing I discovered is like, I'll never, there's people all tuning in from all over the place, from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from all over the US, everywhere, and there's no way I'll ever get to all these places, even if I toured every day of the year for the rest of my life, and even if I did, there's still people that are not going to be able to like come out of the show even if I came to their town,
Yeah. So here's what I figured out. I got it for you. Here's what we're gonna do.
The idea guy.
Flyers.
Don't you worry. I got it.
Are we back to Flyers?
No, not Flyers. This is even better.
Oh my God.
So you know how some actors, they have stunt doubles? Mike, don't you worry about it. We're not going to do Mike Love Mondays. We'll do Fiddly Don Fridays. And I'm going to fit in. I literally just got one of those foot pedals, and I can do it too. So I will fill in for you when you can't do it. What do you think?
What are you going to do?
Sounds good.
I'm going to not agree to that.
Please don't.
Don't worry. We're gonna have a vote once you get off, and we'll vote this out. You don't have to worry about this.
He's got the enthusiasm. He's got the commitment. I'm ready to see what's going to come out of it.
Fiddly Don Fridays. What he was asking is, now that you have this, the footboard and the foot pedal, are you breaking up with the band? That's really what he was asking.
Is the foot pedal Yoko Ono?
Pedal board is something else.
Yeah.
It's really, has it grown over the years?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I obviously it's no secret that I love guitar effects and but with the really like I used I think the first effect I ever got was a delay pedal, when I was in high school, and I loved Pink Floyd and and that was like that's always been my favorite effect. And I kind of, through playing, in bands and stuff, like I always had like a wah pedal and a delay pedal and a distortion pedal, and I never had a big pedal board. But when I started doing the looping thing, was really when that thing just exploded. Because when I started playing those gigs, like I said, it was just I didn't use a single pedal, and then I started using that loop pedal so I could just loop guitar parts and play a solo. And then I got a loop pedal that I could plug my mic into, and then I realized that I could I'm not really a great beatboxer, but I could do beatbox enough to just lay down a beat and then play a guitar part, and then from there I got an octave pedal, and then once I could lay down a rhythm part and a drum groove and a bass line, it's that's a rhythm section, and then beyond that, once I lay that down, everything else is just
you.
Texture and color on top of that. Right. So that's when I started getting all kinds of different pedals that could, do all kinds of different
What's the most
textural
amount
and
of, I'm sorry.
ambient kind of sound.
What's the most amount of layers you ever laid down? Loops or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I never really measured it, but there's ones like Permanent Holiday where I'm looping 7 or 8 vocal parts on top of a drum groove and a couple guitar parts and a bass line and stuff. So I mean, maybe probably I wouldn't guess more than 12 or 15 or something like that.
Hey,
A lot to keep track.
I say we go for 20. Let's go for the next one. Let's try something new.
I mean,
Try
I'm
that on
sure it's
Friday.
happened at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Before we move on from the pedal board, or what'd you call it? The pedal thing? What'd you call it?
I didn't call it the
Footboard.
pedal.
You called it a footboard.
The footboard? It is
You
a
did.
footboard. I went over down to a guitar center.
So we had a little internal debate before we started recording, and we were wondering. We both have our hypotheses between Nick and I. Do you play without shoes for connection to the environment, or because you need all your toes for that pedal or for the footboard?
Footboard.
I mean, it's really both. It's.
Oh.
I feel connected to, like, I've always liked to play barefoot, but I also do a lot of things with my pedal board that there's no way I could do with shoes on. So it's for sure for necessity. But, I also like to feel grounded when I'm playing and just,
So
I
essentially,
love being barefoot.
we're both right, and that is the most Mike Love thing ever.
Yeah.
Everybody's right.
Very millennial. Everybody gets an award.
Just a quick update here on Fiddly Don Fridays. I play with socks. Ankle socks.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a
Socks
big
and
sock.
sandals?
Tube socks.
No,
You
not
got tube
sandals.
Don't put
Big-
socks
no.
and sandals.
Big sock guy.
Yeah, with
Big
sandals.
sock guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Might I suggest toe socks?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you can-
yes.
Yoga
Yeah.
socks.
yeah.
He wants to feel
Yeah.
connected
Best of both
but
worlds
safe.
again.
Yeah. Connected but safe.
My question is, or not a question, but a comment or analyzation of what you're actually doing is you use your whole body when you produce your music. It's your mind, your soul, your fingers, your feet, everything in you goes into every song. And I think that's where I connect the most with you is what you're giving, I'm getting. And I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah. One thing that, one of my favorite music philosophers, especially, is Victor Wooten. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
Yeah,
Great
familiar
bass,
with
big
him.
bass
but-
player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Got his
he
autograph.
said this one thing. Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
Sorry, that's a-
Yeah, I'm reading his second book right now. I don't know if you've ever read his book, The Music Lesson, but it's like one of the greatest books I've ever read, period. But definitely an amazing book on music and an amazing way of looking at music. But one of the things that he said that really stuck with me is when you're playing music, you really it is your full body. So whenever you move any part of your body, it should be connected to the music. So you should be doing it, in even if you're not using it with the music, you should be moving it in time with the music because it should really come from your whole body. And that really stuck with me because, a lot of times you're playing your guitar or something and you might just move your leg or shift your body around or something, and you're not necessarily doing it.
All right, Mike, dude, this has been amazing. We can't thank you enough. We're going to be plugging you all over the place. We don't even need to have him plug himself. We're going to do all the plugging.
We
Right
already
now.
started today.
That's easy.
I'm a big plugger.
plugger,
We're going
so.
to plug him. We're
Yeah.
going to tell everybody where to go.
That's a great
Huge
plugger.
fan of plugging.
But I got to tell you, I want to.
Just, wherever I am at, just dovetail me in there.
There you go. Oh, I love it.
Full circle. Rick and
Mike, absolutely genius.
You are a
guy
pro.
knows his dovetails.
He's a fucking pro.
But I picked out a segment from the Sugar Shack. You remember that one?
Ooh,
That was a great one. I love that
Sugar
one.
Shack sessions.
Florida.
All right.
Yeah.
First of all, it features your scat singing. He's a good scatter.
Yeah.
Second of all, how the hell do you not faint during this? You've got breath control, and then it's just it's a great way to to end this whole awesome call here. So here we
All
go.
right, let's hear it.
Nice. Thanks, man.
Love Ohana.
Take it with you when you go, 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 go. Children, listen, please, yo. Let me say my piece. Oh, growing up is a disease. Don't you catch it? Take it with you when you go. No, you can't take it with you when you go. Collect your silver, collect your gold, but in the end, what will you have to show? 'Cause you can't take it with you when you go. You can take my love with you when you go. Come on. And I'll take your love with me when I go. And hand in hand we'll leave this land and go wherever the trade winds blow. And we'll take this love with us when we go.
There you go.
Oh, so good.
One love.
I don't know if you
fucking
were you
good.
able to hear it that
Yeah,
time.
could you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Nice.
So
I
guess
gotta
what?
tell you, it's like hearing it for the first time. I'm telling you,
Every
I
time.
absolutely love it.
Every
Oh,
time.
it's
Hey,
great.
Mike, can you give us
you guys
one
are awesome.
family?
Woo! Family! Love you guys. Thank you so
Mike,
much.
we're gonna-
Thank you,
man.
thank you
Hey,
so much for
fantastic.
making
We're
it.
gonna take this love with us when we go, my friend.
Yes,
Yep.
brother.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Mike.
See you on the road.
Awesome, man. Have a good one.
Sounds good.
Nice, Mike.
Thank you. Aloha.
Later.
Aloha.